just 7 goals so far, already 13 adrift of their total at the same point last season. The pressure is on Boksic to start scoring straight away. Goals were not a problem when today's opponents met last. The 2 games produced 11 goals. In January, Napoli surprisingly beat Lazio 3-1, with Crippa opening the scoring on the half hour, followed by the South American contingent of Careca and Fonseca. Signori grabbed the consolation goal for the visitors with 15 minutes to go. The return match in May at the Stadio Olimpico was an epic encounter. 2 early goals from Riedler. Then Zola pulled one back for Napoli, before Signori scored from the spot just before half-time. Franchini pulled another one back, but Winter made it 4-2. Zola scored his second of the game with half an hour to go, but Lazio held out to win 4-3. So far this season, Lazio have failed to live up to the expectations built upon their highest finish for 16 years. Injuries to key players, especially Beppe Signori and Paul Gascoigne, have limited Dino Zoff's attacking options, while Gigi Casaraghi simply hasn't lived up to his billing of national team striker. Performances have been generally poor, and the low goal count is in stark contrast to last season's swashbuckling performances. Marcello Lippi's Napoli are an entirely different proposition. Following on from a season of near disaster, allegations of corruption, a new-look Napoli has emerged which has quietly and confidently crept up the table after a hesitant start. They now lie 6th in the table and, led by Daniel Fonseca and the ex-Lazio hero Paolo Di Canio, youngsters like Giovanni Bia, who is suspended for today's game, have come through. Lazio are undefeated in their last 4 games, due in no small part to the return of Signori, who scored 2 in the last 3 games, including a brilliant strike against Udinese last Sunday. Napoli have gone 8 games without defeat, and an impressive run includes wins against Roma, Cagliari and Lecce. Last week they earned a hard-fought point at Piacenza. Can Lazio win their first away game of the season? Or will Napoli maintain their chase of the leaders? Let's find out with match commentator Gary Bloom.
It's been 15 seasons since Lazio last won a league game on this ground, but perhaps the debut of new signing Alan Boksic from Marseille will lift Lazio, who this week crashed out of the UEFA Cup to Portuguese team Boa Vista. Boksic, number 9, displaces Casiraghi from this starting 11, which is still without the injured Paul Gascoigne. Lazio have their captain Crivero back. He's been sent off twice this season and has struggled too with injury. Signori is returning to the sort of form which made him Italy's leading goal scorer last season. Giovanni Bia, who scored in last week's 1-1 draw with Piacenza, is suspended for Napoli, so Sebastiano Nella takes over the number 6 jersey. Midfield players Carini and Jonas Turner both injured. Up front, Pollicano is preferred to Renato Busso. And before the kick-off, a minute's silence in memory of Mario Cecchiguri, the president of Fiorentina, who died last week. So Lazio get this match underway in their change strip of all yellow, playing from right to left in the first half. Napoli have won the last 4 meetings between these clubs at the San Paolo Stadium, and Napoli just beginning to return to the sort of form which could take them to Europe next season. Really important this match for Alan Boksic. They've been talking about his transfer from Marseille for months and months. It's finally come to fruition. 11 here is Pecchia, who lost out. Gambaro calling for the ball, Signori chasing it. Throw-in goes Napoli's way. Marcello Lippi, the coach of Napoli, in his first season with the club. Gambaro. Pecchia. Naylor helping the ball wide. Now this is Napoli's first serious raid. Francini. That was a good covering tackle. Timed expertly by Bacci, who really had the ball in his sights rather than the legs of the Napoli player. This one dropped in short to Pecchia. Oh, that's not too far away. Tried to arc the ball round Marcagiani, who in fairness to the Lazio goalkeeper I think had the post covered. But it was certainly worth an attempt with so many yellow-shirted players ahead of him. Good layoff by Boksic. Di Matteo. 8 here is Dole. Trying to find an opening for the cross. Oh, that's a neat triangle of passes for Napoli, who attack down the near side. Gambaro made significant progress before he ran into Favale. Gambaro might have injured himself in that little incident. Throw-in goes Napoli's way. Bourdin will take it. Former Atalanta player who followed the coach Marcello Lippi to this club. Bourdin to take the throw. Napoli with early pressure, but they haven't had too many shots on goal. Probably that effort by Pecchia the closest we've come. Although here's Signori now for Lazio. Aaron Winter is to his right, looking for Boksic. Well, Boksic has certainly done enough damage. He's injured the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper colliding with the defender has injured Ferrara, and there's also an injury too to Cannavaro, who appears to have picked up some abdominal or groin injury. Cannavaro, a young defender, just 20 years old. Talia Latera also injured. And just for the moment, the Napoli team, all the 6s and 7s, whilst the physiotherapy staff of the club work overtime. Well, Cannavaro seems fit to continue. Signori has his shooting boots on, and it's still 0-0. Gambaro. Lazio, who've lost just one of their last Serie A games, still level at 0-0 here. Fonseca. Monami back defending. It's a good cross, in fact, by Fonseca. He was looking for Pollicano. Di Canio. Oh, it's a good shot by Di Canio. It swerved dramatically as it headed towards goal. And Marcagiani did well to hold on to the ball, not only save it. Di Mauro. Yeah, breakaway raid here by Lazio. Noel gave chase. Can Di Matteo pick the ball up? Free kick to Napoli. It's been a disappointing start to the game. Here's Di Canio now for Napoli. Gambaro, who usually plays left back, but has operated on the right-hand side in this game. 11 here is Pecchia. Now this looks promising. That's a foul and a free kick to Napoli. Fonseca was body checked as he tried to turn on the edge of the penalty area, and the Lazio defender made little attempt to play the ball. It was Bonami, the guilty party, one of the young players in the Lazio squad. Pollicano, number 10, has the Lazio goal in his sights. So too has Fonseca, who scored in this fixture last year. It's Fonseca! Just about grasped by Marcagiani. It squirted through on goal, and the Lazio goalkeeper, who by our accounts is still the most expensive in the world, did well to hold this ball. Boksic shrugged away the challenge of Fonseca. Pecci. Oh, that's a deliberate haul back there by the left back of Napoli. I think it was Francini. In fact, Pollicano was the player who was threatened, and he tugged the jersey of Di Matteo. Boksic being heavily fleeced by Ferrara. Vinter's marked as well. Vinter stretched for the ball, just couldn't get a decisive touch. This one played in towards Doll. Doll has Favali in support, number 3. Boksic is waiting menacingly on the back post. Here is Boksic now. And just brushed aside the attention there of Ferrara, and also Naylor to get a header in on goal. Boksic plays that role of target man ever so well, and that's why Lazio have been prepared to spend £7 million to bring him from France to Italian football. He scored 23 goals in 37 games in the French First Division last season, and was part of that controversial Marseille team which won the European Cup. More problems here for Talia Latella. He was on loan to Bari last term. Trying to make his mark now in Serie A. He's had a bruising start to this game. I think on both occasions damage has been done by one of his defenders. Still goalless though. Napoli undefeated since week 2 of the season, and able to find a way through past this Lazio defence. Gambaro. They missed out Naylor. Talia Latella is seriously struggling in this game, because if he can't kick the ball further than that, Napoli could be in trouble. And indeed, Napoli are contemplating making a switch of goalkeeper here. So Di Fusco will come on for Napoli. He wears the number 12 shirt, and Talia Latella has succumbed to that knee injury. You'll want to keep a clean sheet before half-time. Guerrero. Signori! Well, the goalkeeper's first job was almost to pick the ball out of the net. Last season, had the goal in his sights then. Hardly had any backlift with his left foot, he struck that ball. This probably Lazio's best spell of the game. And here's Signori again! And Di Fusco has been busy since coming on as a substitute. He didn't have to deal with Signori's first shot, but he certainly had to deal with that thunderous volley. Quarter then to Lazio. Crevero's up from the back. Boksic is in there. So too is Doll. And Aaron Vinter. Not sure number 70, Gagno, had retreated the full 10 yards, but that was an outstanding stop to deny Signori a goal. Well, the opening of the half belonged to Napoli, the closing stages to Lazio, but as yet neither of these two teams have broken the deadlock. Lazio have come closest through Beppe Signori. The half-time score 0-0.
visitors you'd rather not have. But you can take certain precautions against their unexpected calls, like taking out an insurance policy with Sun Alliance. After all, we've been protecting our customers throughout Ireland against life's little misfortunes for over 270 years. So, when things go wrong, you know you can rely on Sun Alliance. We put things right when things go wrong.
Amazingly, you can get all of the people in the world standing together on the Isle of Wight. You can squeeze 24 people into a mini. And you can get all the fibre you'd find in 9 slices of brown bread concentrated in a single bowl of Kellogg's All Bran. Kellogg's All Bran, a concentrated fibre provider.
Let's party!
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, baby!
Do the shimmy.
Get down! New Pictionary party. Now both sides can play at once.
Duracell is no ordinary battery. In continuous tests, it lasts up to 6 times longer than ordinary SP batteries. Duracell. No ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
This is a voyage of discovery. Back in time. Back over 200 years when stout was first brewed, using the richest harvest of Irish barley, the world's finest hops, and the purest water. A discovery that may surprise you. Beamish Stout.
Opera Ireland presents Lacme at the Gaiety Theatre Dublin from Thursday 2nd of December. Booking on 01 677 1717.
It's goalless at half-time between Napoli and Lazio. Napoli get the second half underway, but I'm sure the talk in the Lazio dressing room at half-time was of 2 chances for Beppe Signori right at the death of the first half. The second one denied by the reserve goalkeeper of Napoli, Di Fusco. Dol for Lazio, finding Favale. Has Boksic to his left. Alan Boksic making his debut for Lazio in this game. No doubt he'll be given a right royal reception when he plays his home debut in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Lazio's away form this season has been disappointing. In fact, they're yet to win a match away in Serie A. But they have the ideal opportunity. And this is Dol. Hooked in. Looking for Boksic, and Signori was there too. There was a foul by Boksic, which was committed there, as he out-wrestled Ferrara. Lazio just beginning to impose themselves on the game, and that's a rather reckless challenge on Thomas Dol. The Napoli man can have few complaints about being yellow-carded for that. Played into Signori. Forced away from goal. Ball now is Di Matteo, who's drifted into the box. It only needed a touch on the back post, and his colleagues are saying just that. Di Matteo, who played in Swiss football last season. It's his first term in Italian football. So, an hour of the game gone. Still we await the first goal. Plenty of fireworks off the pitch. Have we some on it here? Boksic! Denied a goal in his debut by a horizontal save by Di Fusco, and he's picked up an injury in heading that ball goalwards then. It was a measured cross, and once again the bravery of Boksic to get his head onto that ball was evident. Did well to get up above the defender. Di Canio. Gambaro surely offside. In fact, he wasn't interfering with play, but he is now. 11 is Pecchia. Busso. This Napoli attack has some more legs yet. Vinta. Boksic is after it. Ferrara should tidy up after his colleagues here. Not particularly successfully. Signori's now waiting for the ball in the middle. Dole for volley! Lazio lead by a goal to nil. And the combination there of Dole and Favale was irresistible. Dole, number 8, was the architect, but Favale, the left-back, was the executioner. Well, Favale was prepared to join the Lazio attack when it mattered, and he gets his reward. Napoli have just over 20 minutes to do something about this. They trail by a goal to nil. This is Busso for them. Pushed Bacci over the dead ball line. And is this long-awaited Lazio away victory in sight? Could well come against a Napoli team who've won 3 of their last 5 games. Di Canio. Felt he was impeded then. Throw-in goes Lazio's way. Signori. Gambaro. There's been no real cutting edge to Napoli's game throughout this match. Marcello Lippi, who's chain-smoking here, must be particularly worried about the lack of chances his team has managed to create. Fonseca's hardly had a shot on goal. Now here's Busso. That should be Marco Gianni's. Just a sense of unease now settling on this Napoli team. They seem dispirited about that Lazio goal. Boksic. Ferrara with the covering tackle. Bordin. That's a fine pass. Di Canio. Fonseca, yes, they're level! Fonseca, who's been fed on crumbs all afternoon, scoops one of those up and fires Napoli level. Lazio's lead lasted just 3 minutes, and they're up off the bench in the San Paolo Stadium. It was a lovely ball by Di Canio, and Fonseca was prepared to dive in where it hurt. He got ahead of Bonomi and ahead of Marcagiani, and Napoli now have equalised. Just scooped the ball wide of the Lazio goalkeeper. And Di Canio, who provided the goal, began his career with Lazio and has now provided Napoli with an equalising goal against them. Well, Marcagiani has been injured in that incident. Of course, you've already seen Taglialatella, the Napoli goalkeeper, leave the field. Well, you won't need me to tell you, those are Napoli supporters enjoying this game now. And their side are coming forward again, not content with a point, they're looking for two. Napoli's season really has been transformed after losing their opening two matches of this season. They're beginning slowly to piece their game together and are becoming a very difficult team to beat. Crivero is in agony now after trying to head that ball clear. I think he's anxious for his teammates to get the ball out of play quickly. And the Napoli supporters claiming that Bonomi handled this shot here by Di Canio. Russo, who's had useful games since coming on as a substitute. This is Pecchia. Di Canio looking for Fonseca. Napoli a good deal more incisive, and this former Lazio player has given them some width down the right-hand side. Di Canio's having a good game now. Signori. He needs support here, Signori. That's a fair-looking cross. Boxic. Oh, that's a handball! Surely! And the referee has quite rightly given a penalty. That was a quite ridiculous attempt to play the ball by number 3, Francini. Di Fusco will attempt to save Beppe Signori's penalty with 8 minutes of the match remaining. Just 2 steps for Signori. One of the shortest run-ups in the Italian game, but it doesn't matter. Lazio take the lead for a second time in this match, and I wonder if they can keep it now. Well, what a way to throw away a point, if that's the way it's going to stay. Signori scores a penalty, but there'll be an inquest as to why Francini punched that cross away as it was played into the Napoli penalty area. Fonseca. Well, maybe Lazio's week is going to end on a happy note. They might have gone out of the UEFA Cup, but they're close now to their first away victory of the season. Marcagiani hardly troubled with that shot. Struck by Busso, who scored an own goal against Lazio on the opening day of last season. That's when he was a Sampdoria player. That was another wild challenge by Bonomi on Fonseca. Fonseca collided with the linesman. This could be one of Napoli's last chances to find a second equalising goal. Di Canio standing over the ball. Naylor's in there. Headed clear by Favale. And Busso remains Napoli's principal source of hope when it comes to goals. It was an acrobatic effort. He never really got over the ball to trouble Marcagiani. I just wonder how much the arrival of Boksic will galvanise this Lazio team in the coming weeks. Oh, Signori's through here! Just for a moment there, it appeared as if Signori had stolen round the back of the Napoli defence. I think he was happy to waste a few more seconds and for his side to have the corner. Is there a third goal for Lazio right at the end of this game? Vinta! Nolan Vinta, who had a brilliant first season with Lazio last year, but he's not really been as convincing this term. Free kick to Lazio. And this will eat up a few more vital seconds for the away side. Boksic beaten in the air this time. Now, are Napoli to find a late equaliser? Came off Bacci. Marcello Lippi out of his dugout to instruct his side to attack, and to attack swiftly. Fonseca, oh, Di Canio! The former Lazio man almost equalised, converting Fonseca's through ball in injury time at the end of the game. I just wonder if he was offside then. It would have been a contentious goal had it stood. Rather low-key end to this game. And that's the disappointing aspect as far as Napoli are concerned, because they've hardly attacked Lazio without safeguard. That Lazio defence has just stood firm since the second Lazio goal scored by Beppe Signori from the penalty spot. And Lazio attempt to play the remainder of this game in the Napoli half. Fonseca caught offside. It's been a frustrating afternoon for Fonseca. The one chance he's had, he's converted. But there's been precious few opportunities at the Lazio end of the ground. Favale helping this one through, looking for Boksic. That has been one of the more interesting tussles of the afternoon for Rara and Boksic. And a win for Lazio at last this season. Their first away success this term. And remember, prior to today, it had been 15 seasons since Lazio last won in Napoli. All the goals coming in the second half, Favale giving Lazio the lead, Fonseca equalising, and the winner coming from the penalty spot from Beppe Signori. Final score, Napoli 1, Lazio 2.
So Lazio overtake Napoli. Meanwhile, the day's other big clash happened at the San Siro between Inter and their city rivals, Milan. Here's Peter Brackley and Ray Wilkins.
Anacone. Now Fontelan. Forward by Jonk. For Bergkamp to chase. Such a telepathy between the two Dutchmen. Now Bergkamp. Oh, can he finish here? Terrific save by Sebastiano Rossi.
Brilliant football again. It's a good ball from Jonk. You're quite right there, Peter. They both play with Ajax. And there's Bergkamp coming in on his favourite right foot and hitting a tremendous drive, which Rossi did exceptionally well to save.
Donadoni. Nogomi's clearance. Running as far as Boban. Just bobbled up nicely for him then. And he struck it cleanly. But it has to be an exceptional shot to beat this man, Walter Zenga.
Yeah, that was exceptional skill, wasn't it? A bit like Matt Letizia the other week.
Donadoni, as usual, will take the kick for Milan. Bounder up on the post. Bonucci's making his way up as well. Also watch out for Maldini if he gets in there. And it's Bonucci! Milan take the lead from Bonucci's header. And well, what a moment for this young man. His first goal for Milan. And what kind of place to score it. And in the Milan derby.
My word, what a good header, Peter. Yeah, he got up very nicely, very early. And that's a flashing header past Zenga. Super goal. And I thought it was against the run of the play as well. I thought Inter just came into it, decided to take charge.
Bergkamp. Oh, skipping away from Donadoni. Bergkamp shot!
Good football there from Bergkamp. He dropped deeper to get away from his marker and danced around Donadoni level onto his left side. And this one just flashing past the upright. I think Rossi may have had it covered, but just zooms past the upright.
A really good strike by Bergkamp. Yeah, that took a bad bounce as he kicked that one, I think.
Yeah,
it's cutting up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cutting up a little bit, but that's not Bergamot's strong point anyway, Peter, the old passing of the ball. He's an excellent defender, but he normally elects just to knock it off nice and simple.
Papan looking again, he could be in! It's there! It's 2 to Milan! Papan strikes!
Well, that's great running off the ball there, Papan. He's made a tremendous run, and he's kept going. The defenders, I think it was Paganini that actually stops. Papan continues his run. It's a super little pass from Bonucci. There's that run inside the fullback. Sorry, it was Battistini expecting Zenga to come off his line. And there's Papan, who I think's had a super game today, Papan. He's been very tenacious up front and worked really hard. Battistini elects to leave the ball. Zenga can't reach it, gets his hands to it. But there it is, he bobbles over the line for 2-0. Now this is going to be very tough now for Inter to get back into this one.
Now Albertini is there. Orlando not getting involved in this one. Albertini, who himself is pretty useful from long range. But now Orlando is there, so might be a strike by him, the Milan substitute. He's got a strong left foot. This is Orlando. What a good effort.
Yes, it was a good effort, wasn't it? Just a foot lower and Zenga would have had to make one of his saves.
Here's Vignon. Just too long for Fontelan, but he's got through, and the tackle was a clean one.
He's given a penalty, I think, Peter. There was a dive in. Yeah, it was just a race to the ball, really, Fontelan and Gali.
Bergkamp is going to take the kick. And scores! They've got one back. Anacone and Bergami in that wall, along with the Milan players, or just in front of it anyway. Here is Sosa. Terrific save by Rossi. Well, he couldn't have had too good a view of that, but he got down splendidly. Now Fontelan, Jonk, the goalkeeper's nowhere. Oh!
My word, what a fantastic action that was. It was a great ball from right half over the top of Panucci's head, and Rossi's come out, committed himself. Fontaine does exceptionally well here. Plays a little ball inside to Jon. We should hit the target really from there, not under pressure, but Maldini slipping on the line and it ball just drifts past the post. That was a great opportunity for Inter to get back to level terms.
Milan holding on at 2-1. Sosa! Oh, only inches wide from Ruben Sosa.
My word, and I think really if we're to analyse the game properly, they do deserve to get back in the game and get back on level terms. It would have been the right result, I feel, but that could well be it.
Elsewhere, Parma played Juventus in an evening kick-off. Joint leaders Sampdoria entertained Cagliari, and co-strugglers Udinese and Genoa face each other at the Friuli Stadium. But we'll start with the game in Bergamo between Atalanta and Piacenza. Here's Gary Bloom.
Atalanta in the stripes started briskly against Piacenza and were unfortunate not to score. In a week of changes at the club, there was even a place for the Argentinian Leo Rodriguez. Atalanta were playing under the new coaching partnership of Valdi Nocci and Prandelli. In the second half, Soze was kept out by Tayibi. The home side, without a win in their last 7 league games, almost snatched a dramatic late winner. Again, it was Soze who threatened to score. It ended goalless. Piacenza have suffered just 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Cremonese placed Lecce under pressure from the opening kick-off. Both Cristiani and Nicolini might have scored. But Lecce, buoyed on by a 5-1 victory over Atalanta last week, took the lead after half an hour through Russo. It was the young striker's 3rd goal in 2 games. At the other end, Maspero was kept out by the informed Giuseppe Gatta. Then it was Tentoni's turn to squander an easy opportunity to score. Perhaps Cremonese needed some help, and they got it when Biondo fouled Dazzotti 2 minutes before half-time. The slow-motion replay certainly suggests that a penalty award might have been a little harsh, to say the least. Once again, Cremonese rode their luck as Dazzotti was handed 2 attempts to score. It was 1-1 at half-time, but a similar pattern emerged in the second half. Here, Tentoni's denied by an upright. Perhaps Tentoni's perseverance deserved some reward, and with just 8 minutes left, the striker produced the winning goal. With Tentoni in such prolific form, Cremonese might just be dreaming of a UEFA Cup place. That's his 5th of the season. Cremonese climbed to 6th in Serie A. Sunday night's live TV game in Italy was Parma in white against Juventus. Aspria and then Brolin almost gave Parma the lead. Juventus thought they'd taken the lead 10 minutes in as Conte found Ravanelli, whose shot found the goal. Ravanelli was denied his 3rd league goal of the season by a linesman's flag. 7 minutes from full time, and this was the instant which was to change the game. The referee decided that Crippa was fouled here by Dino Baggio. Zola's free kick was arced to devastating effect, and Parma were 1-up. Zola had scored twice against Juventus last season, but as a Napoli player. 4 minutes later, Parma extended their winning margin after being awarded a penalty for Cola's foul on Aspria. Thomas Brolin scored from the penalty. It was his 1st goal of the season. It was enough to send Parma back to the top of Serie A, level on points with Milan. Roma, who haven't won at home since the end of September, were at home to Foggia. This is Carboni making inroads into Foggia's defence, but Balbo failed to score. In the second half, this was Foggia's best chance to open the scoring. Seno's header seemed goal-bound before Roma's new signing, Caprioli, diverted the ball away. Capioli almost capped an ideal debut by scoring with this angled header. Lana, closer to the goal, should have secured both points for Roma. They had to settle for just one. It's Foggia's 8th draw out of 11 games. Sampdoria in blue were on a high after beating Milan last week. It took them just 3 minutes to take the lead against Cagliari. Bertorelli was on hand to squeeze in Katanec's angled header. Sampdoria's defence advertised their vulnerability with this move. Deli Valdez came close to goal number 8 of the season for him. Sano was soon stinging the fingertips of Sampdoria's goalkeeper Pagliuca. This was David Platt's opportunity to extend Sampdoria's lead. Allegri's introduction into this game was to have a significant effect. His first major contribution was to score the equaliser 20 minutes from full time. Sampdoria thought at least 3 Cagliari players were offside when Allegri struck the ball. Allegri's next involvement was this defence-splitting pass which allowed Oliveira through. Vjekevod handled Deli Valdez's goal-bound shot. Vjekevod was sent off and Cagliari had a penalty. Matteoli scored to make it 2-1. Bertorelli had 2 chances to score his second goal of the game, firstly out-jumping the Cagliari defence and then that low drive. Cagliari were trying to leave with their first victory on this ground against Sampdoria since 1978. Just when it seemed Cagliari were going to achieve their version of the Great Escape, Sampdoria won a penalty with little over 10 minutes remaining. Lombardo is impeded by Napoli. But Mancini is unsuccessful with his spot kick. Sampdoria's efforts to draw level achieved more desperate heights. Last week it was champagne for a win over the champions. 7 days later and it was back to the mineral water. It's Sampdoria's second defeat at home this season. Reggiana in white almost stole an early lead against Torino through Morello. They say Reggiana couldn't win an argument. In fact, they haven't won a Serie A game since promotion last summer. They should have had a penalty here, though, for this foul on Padovano. Carbone, who'd given Aberdeen the runaround in the Cup Winners' Cup just a few days earlier, did the same to Reggiana's defence, setting up this goal for Silenzi. Padovano continued to threaten Torino's goal. But coming up, one of the contenders for goal of the month, created by Ossio and thundered in by Silenzi. It was Silenzi's 8th goal of the season, and now he's joint top of the goal scorers charts. In the second half, Reggiana desperately tried to gain a foothold in this one-sided game. It ended 2-0 to Torino. It's their first win in 5 matches. The travelling Genoa fans at Udinese were given something to cheer about after only 6 minutes when Thomas Scuravi scored his first goal since April. The Czech striker's goal put Genoa on course for their first win since the opening day of the season. It took the away side just 10 minutes to double their lead through Marco Nappi. The volatile forward was once an Udinese player. A minute later and Genoa scored again. There was some dispute as to which player got the final touch. On the slow-motion replay, it appears to go in off the arm of an Udinese defender. Genoa's fine display was spoiled by the sending off of Marco Nappi for his assault on Pitana. Nappi evidently disagreed with the referee's decision. Udinese did eventually get into this match. Branca was thwarted by the reflexes of Berti. But midway through the second half, Genoa sealed their victory with goal number 4, scored by Massimo Ciocci. Remarkably, Genoa hadn't scored in their previous 6 matches and had managed just 4 goals all season. Adriano Fedele, the coach at Udinese, had just witnessed his side's third home defeat of the season. Will it prove one too many? Final score, Udinese 0, Genoa 4. So we're nearly a third of the way into the season, and it's still incredibly tight at the top. Parma lead the way on goal difference from Milan, but Juventus, Sampdoria and Inter are still in close attendance. And in sixth place, the surprise team of the season so far, Cremonese, making an impressive return to the top flight. The other promoted sides aren't faring so well. Reggiana and Lecce are rooted to the foot of the table. In the scoring charts, a Turin double. Roberto Baggio and Andrea Solensi sharing top spot amongst the Capo Cannonieri, with 8 goals each so far. And there was £2 million each this weekend for 3 punters on the Italian pools, a record payout. The goal in the Milan derby may not be worth £2 million, but try telling Christian Panucci that.
Back in the early 1800s, Thomas Carling embarked on an historic journey. It took him from his homeland to the snow-capped peaks of Canada. There, amidst the ice and the snow and the pure air, he discovered a very special brewing technique, known as cold filtering. It made his lager as cool as the landscape that inspired him. Carling Black Label, the original cold-filtered beer.
The World Cup, football's ultimate prize. Celebrate the event with a feast of World Cup facts on the special Mars World Cup wrapper.
Created by Laboratoire Garnier Paris, new Synergy Essential Day Care, a complete daily cream. Its active natural ingredients are carried by natural liposomes and absorbed into the epidermis. Hypoallergenic, your skin is moisturized, protective, and radiant with beauty. New Synergy Essential Day Care, complete daily cream with natural liposomes, formulated and controlled by Laboratoire Garnier Paris.
In the year 2032, 2 mortal enemies will be unleashed on a world that isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
Make sure you're registered to vote, especially if you've recently moved house or if you're about to turn 18. Check the draft register now. It's the only way to vote.
Right, the coast should be clear by now. Sorry I'm late, everyone. Oh, crikey, what's happened here? Where's Mike? Oh, so did the Street Fighter 2 Turbo characters turn up for the interview then? I see you're going to show off the new moves then. Great. That'll be their special combat speed. But